the very distinguished Patrick Gallagher, who is chairman of Allen and Unwin, and Allen and Unwin, and he oversees this award. And Patrick is one of the country's great publishers, an extraordinary spotter of talent, and for decades was an outstanding advocate for the words carried on the jackets of the books from the early years of Allen and Unwin. Books certainly do matter. Lily Cameron and Patrick Gallagher.
Thanks, Graham, for those overkind words. It might be a bit harsh to say that John Bell put the hard word on me, but he did explain to me that over the years the Bouddie Foundation has put up some wonderful grants for actors, performers, artists, but very little for the literary world. So, naturally, along comes the Allen and Unwin Award for Writing, in the hope that youngsters on the Central Coast who are keen readers, would-be writers, might think about making writing a larger part of their life. Which brings us to the winner, the inaugural winner of the Allen Unwin Award, Lily Cameron, using the grant to pursue a creative writing course, of which we'll hear a little more later. But first, Lily, tell us how you first became passionate about writing, about reading and then writing.
Yeah, I think I've always been a big reader ever since I was very little. I always kind of wrote little stories and poems and things like that, but I kind of became more serious about writing when I was in my final year of high school. I did Extension 2 English, in which you have to create a kind of longer form piece of writing, and that was my first experience of writing an extended narrative. And ever since then, I've just continued writing. So I studied a Bachelor of Communications, majoring in creative writing at UTS. Now I'm doing my Master of Arts in creative writing. But yes, I think reading is really your first teacher or tutor as a writer, and I continue to learn the more that I read.
And can you pick out 2 or 3 books that first either got you interested in reading or maybe even changed your life just a little bit?
Yeah, there are so many. I think the first one that really made a huge impact on me was Melina Marchetta's Saving Francesca. There is a small part in the book where the character of Francesca travels to Woy Woy, and I remember...
I don't remember that bit.
Yeah, I remember just being, I've been there. I've been to that train station. I know what that is, and that was really exciting to see a world that I knew kind of represented in writing. And I think Melina Marchetta has such a distinct Australian voice, and that's really nice because we obviously read a lot of American and especially American texts. But since then, I've become particularly interested in creative non-fiction writing, and I think the first book that made an impact on me of that genre was Rebecca Solnit's A Field Guide to Getting Lost, and she uses like personal experiences, personal narratives to explore kind of bigger ideas and criticism of, arts, culture. So yeah, that was a really impactful book for me, and all of Maggie Nelson's writing. She's a queer writer, and I think that was another, seeing yourself represented in writing. That was another experience for me.
Yes, so quite a range.
Yes.
So what about your own writing? Would you like to read us a little sample?
I can. So this is kind of a condensed reading of a longer piece on Persephone, the Greek goddess. I think that her story is very interesting, and it's an opportunity to look into themes of kind of autonomy and obsession that I find really interesting. So I'll read a short passage. Kore, Persephone, little Greek girl. I love her most of all for her daring, her defiance, her chaos. In my preferred telling of the myth, the maiden Kore grew tired of wandering among flowers and, finding an entrance to the underworld, chose to explore. She liked it so much she decided to stay. She became Persephone, the one who brings chaos, ruling cunningly with a husband who commands the dead. She ate pomegranates and let the juice run, picked grain, stayed angry, beautiful, barren. In art, Persephone is rarely depicted without her mother Demeter, the empress, both often wearing crowns in their hair and holding staves or stalks of grain. Frederick Leighton's 1891 painting, The Return of Persephone, shows the milky white maiden, virginal, innocent, chaste, with her arms outstretched, reaching towards her benevolent mother. There's an anxiety and an urgency between them. Demeter stretches her arms out wide as though Leighton captured the moment just before she lurches towards her daughter to bring her back into the world, just before she grasps Persephone's hands. The Mythic Tarot by Juliet Sharman Burke and Liz Green emphasises not only the Empress's embodiment of the good mother, but also the mourning mother, who cannot relinquish her possessions, who avenges any intrusion of life's conflicts into her ordered, Eden-like world. How else would her daughter become the one who brings chaos? Demeter's name is evoked today in many ways. 1108 Demeter is a dark asteroid about 27 kilometres in diameter. The law of Demeter is a software design principle that eludes my understanding. There's a fertility clinic in Hurstville named after the goddess, which I drove past once on the way to a friend's house for dinner. I love these women and their complex, intertwined relationship, and I love Persephone most of all for her duality, choosing to live half in the dark underground and half in the light, taking domain of fertility and the blessed dead. Worshipped equally with Hades and ruling by his side, she was known for protecting women once they married, both nurturing and fierce. There is power in returning Persephone some autonomy that doesn't exist in the traditional telling of the myth, power in bestowing her strength and individuality. Now, when the seasons begin to change and the smell of jasmine fills the air, I think of Persephone returning to this side of the earth, joining her mother, missing her husband. I think she would like it, gathering flowers as she did when she was a child, collecting them to bring back underground.
Thank you, Lily.
Thank you.
So, final question. Mm-hmm. When will we see the first book-length manuscript?
Hopefully soon. Yes, that's what Masters is all about.
Absolutely.
So hopefully keep on working and we'll get there one day.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.